Clarence?
Yes.
Matty B.
The figures I used to see were kind of shadowy at first.
His point is, he's my son.
Yes, that's what they are.
Hi. My name is Julie Keegan.
Can I ask Clarence, from his experience, do you feel that they were what they were after?
I posted something the other day when I listened to you and the guy from Australia talking.
Hi, Clarence. This is Phil.
Who's Benson from the Canadian school?
The cell phone seems to have dropped through a wormhole. I can't find it.
I woke up with three small figures, the grays, standing next to my bed.
Hi, Clarence. This is Colin from Australia. How are you?
Yeah, Mike and Janine, how you doing, Clarence?
Hi, Clarence.
And what kind of experience have you had? Clarence isn't in town.
Just having trouble with my smart TV. It turns out to be a dumbass TV.
My name's Lee. That's Lee Stacy.
This summer, I've seen all kinds of bizarre things in the sky.
Really? You really want to hear my story?
I have an extended spine that is called a trunk tail, I guess you would call it. It doesn't stick out, but it goes way past my butt. Your fellow administrator, Melissa Burns.
This is Tim. Caller.
Well, if you don't get me again, it's because I was in a wormhole by accident.
Yeah, second from El Rio, Oklahoma. How you doing, brother?
I've had 3 sightings, one in Massachusetts, I've had 2 in Hollywood, California, and I've actually got to see an extraterrestrial.
And here am I stuck here on this planet, and I can't get off it. That's how I felt.
So what is your mission here on Earth, though?
To raid the planet Earth of all its oxygen. And I shall impregnate all human women.
His point is, he's my son.
Everyone looks at the sky, and we're drawn to the heavens.
Hi, Clarence. It's Carol. I've been watching Ancient Aliens since the beginning. I was hooked from the very first show.
I want to ask you something on Mars.
This is Mike. This is Lee's brother. Hey, how you doing? This is Dan. I'm an admin on the Ancient Aliens site. Just wanted to call and say hey.
It's just a shame that we have people out there who take things funny like this.
I'm going to tell you a secret, people. Hold on now. Under your seats.
Or make a crop circle. That makes a lot of sense. It's brilliant.
What I did was I had to call in as a guest on my own show. Can you believe that?
Rob, is that you, sir?
You sure, you bet. Yep.
Hey, Clarence, Sharon McQueen, how are you?
Oh, that's crazy. I went through a 4-foot stack and actually inquired.
His description of him was a classic, what would be described as a classic gray alien.
I don't mean to sound sexual, but Sharon, The Night Together was a song we used to sing together.
Hey, John.
Hi.
I finally made it.
All right.
I do agree with Clarence. I think this was one of the best shows we've ever had.
Well, I had no idea that you had an encounter with the Grays.
When it vanished and disappeared, it made like a sonic boom.
Thank you for your show.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Good night, and keep your eyes to the sky.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Closer Encounters here on Blog Talk Radio, the radio show where you, the listener, is also the guest. It's been a rough couple of days working my midnight shifts, and I am now on a mini vacation. I got at least a good week off anyway. I won't be going back until Friday, and so that's cool. Tonight, we are going live on YouTube. So if you have YouTube and you want to boot it up, look for Closer Encounters, and that will be us. We are live. It is rolling. I'm hoping that it's working. Time will tell. So the chat room in Blog Talk is open. I am also on Facebook. Many ways of getting a hold of us here. If you would like to be on the show tonight, by all means, give us a call here at 347-989-1008, and we'll be happy to take your call. Speaking of callers, it looks like our buddy Tim is with us. Let me get him booted up here. Hello, sir. How are you?
Greetings. Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing well. And and how are you doing, sir? I have not heard from you for quite a while.
I know, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, you missed our last show, unfortunately, and yeah, it was kind of crazy, but hey, that's okay. You're here with us now, and you know, good deal.
Yeah, I try to keep track of when you're going to be up and going, you know, because I don't like missing the shows.
Right.
You know, because I just, you know, I like sharing my knowledge, and I like, you know, hearing other people's comments on things that we don't normally speak of, you know. And,
absolutely.
And it's really one of the only real places that are in real time most of us get a chance to share these things and stuff, you know, because, you know, let's face it, you know, the mainstream really hasn't caught up to us yet.
Ain't that the truth, though?
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, we're in the process of helping to enlighten people and give them a, you know, not tell them that this is the facts or anything, but just give them set them on their own course to finding their own truths and
exactly.
their own facts, and to see that there's something much more than what we're taught, what we're told, and you know, once you start opening, once the doorways start opening for you, and the gates start opening, it's overwhelming, actually.
Sure.
But I get just as excited as the first time when I had my first epiphanies, just sharing, you know, the information with people, you know.
Right.
Because it's just, you know, I know what it was for me, personally, you know, to start becoming enlightened. So, sharing it kind of like opens up those windows or those times when we're able to remember what it was like for us, you know, the first go arounds.
Right.
And it's just you know, it's just something that, well, there's so much crap being spoken out there that people who are confused or not really sure about things, I like maybe helping them settle them down and realize that it's not as complicated as we oftentimes try to make things to be.
Exactly.
It's very simple, actually. Actually, it's very, very simple. It's so simple that you know, it's like, wow, how come I never seen that before, you know, or how come I never thought of it like that? But once you give people that little bit of the little tip of the iceberg, they just naturally they find out that there's much more. There's much more to the picture as you go. It's just overwhelming, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you, right now, I'm going through a little bit of epiphany, so to speak.
Really?
my views of things of, within our solar system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that Mars was inhabited by human beings millions of years ago.
Do you think so?
And the evidence is getting more and more and more. Well, I don't know. There's going to be. It won't be accepted by most people until the evidence is found and behold, here it is. Once they show it, and people have, that unmistakable proof that this is it. I think it's going to be a long time before that's done, but there's just so much evidence looking at it and looking at other things that what's going on, what they're finding on the moon, and what we're able to see with just our own personal telescopes. We don't have to have a big, super powerful telescope to observe the moon.
Right.
But a good, powerful telescope, you can see things. You can see these structures that they've been talking about, and that some scientists have been saying are there. Many, many other people are saying that there isn't anything there.
Right.
But there is. I think that there's so much more there than what we're even. Most people even have the capability of. Understanding or seeing. But it's again, the evidence is there. The proof is there. The powers that be are hiding it from us, keeping it from us, because after all, I mean, once the truth is released and realized or opened up to the public, it's going to be a game changer all the way around. And a lot of people are going to, most people are going to be saying, well, things like religion is, where does religion lie into it?
Right.
And I don't want to break down anybody's faith or anything, or cause anything that's going to create turmoil within people, as far as what their faith is concerned. But it's one of those things that maybe we can help to soothe that out, or help people to understand,
right.
that there's that's where the real big problem's at, and it's, I don't know if it will cause riots in the streets and things like that. I don't think so. But
let's hope not.
That's kind of what the government's mentality is on opening up and divulging all these things that are real.
Right. Right.
They're not, because it's going to, in a way, it might. It will change even their people's perspective of power and what government is about and everything, And I think that's the main thing right there. The government doesn't want to lose control of the government,
Right.
That's
a lot of money involved. Well, I think it's. I think it's. Well, as far as Mars and people who lived on it before, to me it's hard to fathom. Of course, I guess I'm along with everybody else. A lot of people, but they also claim that there's moon bases and stuff like that too that are extraterrestrial and different other things. But yet we have no definite proof. I mean, we got hearsay, things of that nature. But
that's just it. Yeah. See, NASA knows about all this stuff, and they've kept it from us for so long.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I just think, as part of that same old, I don't know, what is it? dog and pony show
Mhm.
that we've been led on to believe is real. You know, they don't want to let the cat out of the bag and, you know, open up a can of worms that, you know, that they may not be able to. And nobody's going to can really foresee what the opening up of information is going to happen. It's going to predict to take place
Right.
within a society. You know, breaking down. I don't think it's going to break down anything. If anything, it will help to strengthen people's views of what God is.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
the God factor and what religion is really all about. You know, we're set up and we're programmed to go to church, and everybody thinks that the only way that you're going to, the only way to get divine wisdom is to go to a clergyman.
Right.
To find out what, and so many times I've gone to preachers and priests and fathers and whatever, you know, leaders of men of the cloth. We'll say. I've gone to them and with problems, and their explanation of things was just totally
right.
off base
Right.
with what was, you know, and I always thought that was very confusing. You know,
Sure.
You know.
But that's what they're supposed to do, you know. Yeah. They got to keep you confused.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, that's God's infinite wisdom to keep you, you know, keep you in check, keep it, you know.
Right.
But I don't know, you know. I think there's more. There's so much more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, but you know, that's just my own personal opinion about things, and you know, and
Sure.
on that issue.
Sure. Well,
You know,
Tim, we got.
Any other?
Yeah, I was going to say we got another caller here. I think this is Sid, if I'm not mistaken. We had him on our last show. Let me see if this is who this is here real quick. 631. Is this Sid?
Yes, it is. It's so nice to know that you know the number.
I try to keep up on things. I really do. It's really hard.
It feels good. Definitely feels
How are you, sir? We have a friend with us here, Tim Collard, who's on the other line there. Really, you know, he's almost on every show with us and stuff, and you know, he's pretty enlightened and whatever. And I'd like you two to meet each other. Yeah. So Sid, this is Tim, and Tim, this is Sid. So there you go.
You sound great. I've been listening to him for the past couple minutes. It sounds like you extreme spiritual. You know that it's a saying I remember. It says religion is for people who's afraid of hell. Spirituality is for people who have been through hell.
Exactly. Most very good words right there. That's truth right there. But it's nice meeting you, Sid. And it's great coming on this show and sharing things with people and hearing what other people have to say too. You know.
Absolutely.
It's just a truly amazing platform for us to come to here. You know, and I just find it blows me away how quickly 2 hours will go by when you get on the show. It seems like sometimes you turn around, it seems like just 15 or 20 minutes gone, and boom, the 2 hours is over.
Yep, that's the truth.
It's just
it was that way the other night too. Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting into it, and oh my goodness, time's up, and you know. Yeah. I can go up to a 3-hour program if I want to, you know. But the minute I do that is when I don't have only, you know, one caller maybe, you know. Then you're stuck doing a whole 3-hour program, you know. So it's kind of hard. Yeah. So Sid, tell us.
I'm sure if you get more people come on, it'd be great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
This is a great platform. I'm going to share it right now on the Facebook. Hopefully people will
Yeah, we're trying to get more and more listeners and viewers. We're live tonight on YouTube for those that are listening in right now. You can click on the YouTube channel, Closer Encounters, and this is our first time going live, and it's actually working for once. I don't know how it sounds, so I don't know what's going on with it. All I got is the video feed up, so I'm hoping it's working. And you can catch us on Facebook, and you can also catch us here on Blog Talk. Give us a holler at 347-989-1008. We'd love to have you. So. Cool.
I'm trying to get it on YouTube right now. I'm trying to open up that.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to know what is going on. It's probably going to be a little bit delayed, and if you got that open and this open at the same time, you might get a little bit of an echo or something.
Yeah, I'll just be using it for see if there's any information coming in or questions and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I just put it up on my Facebook, so hopefully people will check it out. I also have to send it to the Atlantis Life page. People might see it. And I started a new one because with ancient civilization, it's very methodical and, you go step by step, and people are afraid to hear the alien word.
Right.
Sometimes. So,
right.
Yeah, I talked to a friend, and he started another page that's full-blown alien. So, the title's great. I told him, it's beautiful. He's going to start getting into the field more.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in it for like 20 years, so I definitely have seen so much, even with the researchers. I've met a lot of them, talked with them.
Sure.
A lot of people aren't who they might be when you meet them, but, it's just life.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy.
That's true. That's very true.
The religious paintings from the 15th and 14th and 13th centuries are amazing. I've been putting them up, finding them with what appears to be UFOs, unidentified flying objects, in the background of these paintings from 400, 500, 700 years ago. Renaissance history. It's amazing. And, then I say, okay, now it has to be, how do I talk with people to get through them? A lot of people that I talk with all over the country, because I've met people from every state in the union. I was a vet at 18. I've met millions, thousands, tens of thousands of Americans.
Sure.
And a lot of people have told me they've had a lot of religious indoctrination, and they were trying to like heal themselves, I guess, from church or whatever certain churches would do. Because I wouldn't say all of them are bad.
Right.
It's kind of like good people that again don't have a place to go.
Right.
Chief White Cloud had a good saying. He said, building churches are only going to make us argue over God.
Right. That's the truth. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah, that is the truth.
These guys have some really deep wisdom that, I looked into. I said, man, that is a really amazing, true saying. And every time I look at any place that's built for that, it causes that problem. We're naturally, I think, good beings. And it's kind of like, I'm not even sure if that's right. It's like we can be imprinted upon, because we can see how a person can be raised very immorally.
Absolutely, yeah.
I looked at it. Somebody had posted something and I shared it on my page about a guy who, he did an interview, and he said, in America, he goes, if you look at it, he goes, it's a giant illusion where we think we can own something, but nobody really, there is no private ownership of property in America. I used to believe it was true as a kid, but then when I grew up and I said, wait a minute, you're telling me, so I paid the house off, and now I have to pay you $700 every month to live in my own house?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the Revolutionary War. And that's what's happening in New York, that's what's happening all over the country. I mean, it's ridiculous that you have to pay somebody after you've paid off, exorbitant interest of what you bought. Basically, it reminds me of, they say, whatever the government gives you, just remember it stole it from somebody else. Every single government.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how people don't realize that. Yeah. Yeah. You can pass it down, you can use it, you can do whatever, but eventually, somewhere down the line, they're going to wind up with it again, you know. That's how it works.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Obamacare is based upon. You know, you have all these people. From what I understand, from what I've seen, not actually told, but what I've seen in work in progress is people who have insurance, people who are paying insurance, are paying twice or sometimes 3 times more than what they were paying before Obamacare.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's people who don't have any insurance. They don't barely even have a job. You know, very poor work ethics. You know, to speak of. You know, these people are being rewarded, be given free medical, free or pretty much pretty damn near close to free medical insurance, and that's just totally unfair.
Right.
You know, we're being penalized for being working people, for working and paying our due. We're paying for other people's free ride, and I find that to be very, very unfair. And that's, you know, then again, I'm getting on my political soapbox here, and I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that.
You're fine.
That's not what this show is about. But it just goes to say, it goes to show how that's a prime example of how people are. Whatever you get for free is not for free. Somebody's paid for it. You know, somebody's paying for it.
Right.
There's nothing free. You know.
Right.
Like, I don't believe in free lunch. Free lunch isn't free. Somebody's paying for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, even when you die and you get buried, you still got to pay for your plot for the rest of your days, or you know, whoever's keeping the payment up on it. I wonder what happens when the legacy actually dies out. Do they dig you up and move you, or what? I mean,
I don't know. Well, that's why I've already told my whole family and most of my family, all my loved ones, the ones closest to me that have passed away, everyone's been cremated. There's nobody plotted in the ground.
Yeah, that's me. Yep, same thing. Matter of fact, they got a really cool. Yeah, they got a really cool thing out I've seen where you buy it's a tree urn, and it's a container with soil and a tree of your choice. It's got a seed in it, and you mix your ashes with it, and then you go out and you plant it. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, so you can become an oak or a willow or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also have one that's like a pod where they even put your whole body in. So it's like an organic coffin egg pod, and they bury it under the ground, and they put like a young tree over it. And you know it'll grow into. I think they have it in Europe.
No kidding.
Where you like bond with. I mean those are beautiful. I mean I realized that I don't know. You know, I must have made a deal with military aliens when I was a teenager, and every vet knows that when you're dead, they will come looking for your body, and they'll either cremate it or bury it just the way I buried a lot of soldiers myself.
Right.
You know, and it's dead, you know. And I was 18, you know, I've noticed guys that retired that, you know, sometimes you have certain funerals and you have to do this stuff, the 21 gun salute.
Right.
And all of these guys were under 60. I think the oldest guy was like 58. And I said, shoot, man. I said, this is not doesn't seem too safe to stay in for 20 years. And it's just, you know, you look at it and you say, man, something is going on beyond the political government. Armies don't even, you know, will do stuff that are immoral.
Sure.
Because you have to not be thinking that it's the only way. And a few soldiers have really come out about it. You know, we are all like I guess a disbanded, vagrant type of people, really, because, you know, veterans are, I wonder, sometimes you really wonder what did they really do to us, you know, because we're like army ants or something, and we're really the only thing that might be able to change the country for the better if we would all, you know, organize, and that's what probably 22 of us you know, they say kill ourselves every day. I
Right.
doubt very much all 22 do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if 2 or even 1 every day is killed, you know, and doesn't commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they, you know, which they say they do, it's like, what are you doing to veterans? What is going on? We're 22 men and women every year killing themselves.
Right.
You know, that's ridiculous, but no one really looks at that. You know, they just say support the troops, and when I look at them, I say, you know, this person doesn't even know what they're saying.
No, they don't. They sure don't. It's a sad situation. It is. Yeah.
No. And that's why I also am a vet. Whenever I come across any fellow veterans who recently come back from Iraq and Afghanistan,
Mm-hmm.
they go through a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I'd say,
Yeah.
getting back into society. And I have one very, very close friend that I tried saving, and I lost track of him. I later heard that he had either attempted or had committed suicide.
Oh,
And
sad.
that's the last I heard. But that's right. All I could do to help him, and it was all I could do. I did all I could do.
Well, sometimes
I went to
it
our
takes.
company. I went to the company that we were working for. I went to my personnel basically.
Mhm.
They are. There are people that take care of personal matters within the company, you know, within the workers. And I told him what the problem was, and he said that there was nothing he could do. That their hands are tied. They can't make people go, you know, come in and take any treatment. They have to come forward. And I said, well, he's not going to. He's not going to come forward. He's too proud.
Sure.
You know, a lot of them are just that way. And I just thought it was very cold-hearted to just leave them out, leave our fellow vets out in the cold like that.
Well, that's what they do, though. I mean, that's, you know, and it's like they belong to somebody else. You know, they didn't create them or whatever, so they don't have to bother with them. I mean, that's
somebody else's problem now.
right. Well, they got VAs, and they got, you know, they don't understand. Even when I got out back in the mid '80s, they closed numerous facilities for veterans, and they stopped a lot of benefits for veterans and stuff. I mean, it's really a sad thing, you know. They took away a lot of benefits, different things for vets. So I myself never had to use them, so you know.
Yes. I think our government we give stuff to other countries to take care of other countries so much. We spend millions of dollars for frivolous bull crap around the globe.
Sure.
But yet here we are not taking care of our own people, our own fighting people. You know, people went out there and won these campaigns, won these wars, and these battles and things that's going on, you know, fighting terrorism around the world. And when they come home, they're just, you know, oh, okay, here you go, you're back home now. All right, we're all done, and wash their hands of them. You know, they don't take care of them.
Right.
Not even the wounded veterans, the wounded veterans, the guys that, you know, that really need you know, health care and stuff, you know, the rest of their life, for what they for the part they played in being a government worker, so to speak. You know, basically what you are when you're in the military. You're a government worker. You belong to the government, and when your time of service is up, that's it. They just kick you on down the road and say, "Well, thank you for your time, and you know, have
a nice day." Yeah.
And you know, I think that is just total. That's to me, it's unacceptable that we're doing this. You know,
it's sad.
It's been going on. It's been going on and going on and going on for the last 15 years, 16 years,
Oh, a lot longer than that.
15 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
look at the Union soldiers. Look at the soldiers back when, you know, the country was just, you know, actually, well, really, whatever we want to call it, was establishing itself. They
Right.
would give soldiers promissory notes, you know, instead of money. And you know,
Yeah.
you look at the history of the militarization.
Wasn't worth the money it was printed on.
And, you know, I studied it, and, you know, I was always that soldier that, you know, I didn't mind being a soldier. So,
Mhm.
I let people know, you know, people would say, oh, the Army made you a killer. And I said, no, I was always a killer. I said, everybody that was in the service knows that there were men that could not kill people.
Right.
They chose not to.
Right.
And they just handed us the ammo.
Yeah.
They loved guys like me. I was like, how many? You know, and it's like, oh, forget about it if I was angry with you. That thing is great.
Right.
You know, and if you know, you look at that and you get men like that and you put them in the Army today, that's creepy. I'm glad I can see it as a mature man today.
Right.
And you have to be stupid, 18, 19, 20, trigger happy,
Mhm.
from New York, already in a war zone, you know, so
Right.
that's why I see they create these ghettos and these communities. Like, you know, I lived in Fort Hood, Texas. I've lived in many, you know, states, like Fort Knox, Kentucky, and you see the poverty in
Mhm.
Texas, the trailer parks, and these are, you know, you see a lot of poor people of all color,
Sure.
which keeps a good stock of soldiers, you know, babies, and I look at this machine. It made me look at it. This is a machine, man. This isn't an American thing.
Absolutely.
This is something that has been going on, being that all of us are open to the extraterrestrial reality and the alien question. That when I studied history, I said, man, all these military campaigns go back as far as written history is. It's all about a king using men to kill other men.
Mhm.
And those men always get treated like crap, like in Rome. The soldiers that went and raped and pillaged other countries to make Rome an empire, when they came home, they were homeless.
Yeah.
The statesmen had sold their property. And when you look at that, today is Rome. You know, because we have more Italians living in New York City than we do in Rome. We have more Irish living in New York City than Dublin.
Sure.
And we have more Jewish people living in New York City than we have in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Mhm.
So you look at it and you say, holy smokes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
You know, it's something is controlling something from the behind the scenes and using us as like pawns.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
got that right.
Looks like we have another caller with us. I think this may be Deb or Lee. Let's see here. Hello, is this Lee?
Hi, Clarence.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, Lee. Long time no hear from you, dear.
I know, long time.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, though.
Good hearing from you, too. For sure.
So what's going on?
Mike might be calling in.
Oh, that would be
My
awesome.
brother.
Absolutely, that would be excellent. That would be excellent. I so would love to chat with him and see what his new things are. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, there's all kinds of, always something going on in the world of the paranormal. Man, that's
Absolutely.
strange goings on, but it's absolutely amazing. Some of the stories that he has, some of the things that he's been through, his experiences.
Oh, it's something.
It's just, I'm just like, I think that I've experienced a lot, and I have.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, yep,
Personally, up close, personal.
yep.
But
He does this for a living.
these guys are like, whoa.
Yeah, they do this for a living. This is what their job is. Yeah, go out and investigate. That's so cool. Yeah, unbelievable. Sid, you said something about.
You know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
Well, I was just going to ask Sid. He was saying something about changing the name of his site there. What is it now? I don't think I caught it.
Oh, no, I added another one. We have Descent of Atlantis on Facebook, and then we also, my friend said he'll open Full-Blown Alien.
Full-Blown Alien.
A lot of people that, I'll put stuff on mine, Descent of Atlantis, and they'll be very, if people are afraid to leave the planet, but they're okay with a light UFO influence and older civilization that we don't know about.
Right.
So I spoke to them and I said, we got to go full-blown alien. I said, for the people that already are there, it's kind of like Descendants of Atlantis is keeping people in one classroom to teach them only about this, when other people already know that, they don't have to be debriefed on, there's more than just humans right here on planet Earth. And, if you think of how we got here, it wasn't an ape. That's ridiculous. And, people that have actually studied.
Right.
So, we did that. Like, I talked with producers and actors because I produced also Descendants of Atlantis, the YouTube channel, which is a professionally produced channel, like a television show.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I'm going to make just as professional as Ancient Aliens and give people for free so they can watch it. And people like yourselves and other people that are researchers, they have the chance to be put on that show as well, because I am a video producer and I will put them on there. I mean, I'm on there myself with friends as well.
Oh, cool.
We have a voice, and, when we put ourselves together, we get stronger. Again, it's like the Native Americans. You can take an arrow and snap it, but you can't hold 10 arrows together and break it.
That's true.
Together, we are strong.
I like that analogy. Good job. Yeah. Wow.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm a true believer that we are the descendants of the Atlantean Empire.
Mm.
There's just so much evidence, more and more accumulating every day of this, and so much more than just the Atlantean Empire. I think there are many other empires going back into millions of years of history, especially when you start seeing this information more and more. The newest stuff for me is coming out of Russia and out of mid-Siberia, kind of sort of speaking within the Ural Mountains. There is just so much going on there, and so many megalithic structures being found that boggles the mind. And these are built with, up till then, the largest single piece of stone that was moved or erected or put into place by the ancient civilizations was the stone that's in Baalbek, Lebanon.
Yep.
And it's estimated to be somewhere in the neighborhood of almost 2 million or 2,000 tons. Well, there's stones that within this one wall, this one structure, one stone is estimated to be 3,500 tons. Now that's
a lot.
Completely blows away our ability to even move such a large thing, let alone given the fact that we think these concepts that they're using ropes and pulleys to put all these stones and these megalithic structures into place, and that's just preposterous. There's no way. And not only that, but just cutting the stones I don't think that it's so much cutting the stones. I think the stones are softened to the point to where the weight of each stone put together helps to form the steel, or something like looks like they were cut to fit. Like in Peru,
sure.
Smaller structures in Peru and
really formed.
these places.
Yeah.
The technology there is just beyond us. We can't do it today, So they no doubt had tools and equipment that we don't know anything of.
Mm-hmm.
Because
even Egyptians. I mean, some of the stuff there is there's this one huge slab stone that's concave, but they don't know, and it's huge, they don't know how they machine tool that, you know?
I think I know the one you're talking about. It has a cut that's circular.
Let's see, if you watch the Pyramid Code, they show it in the Pyramid Code.
Okay, I think I saw that a while ago. They had a lot of stones that were giving signatures of machine marks without.
Right.
Yeah. That I call Beyond the Chisel Theory, because I wrote a book last year that I didn't publish to, I did a page on that as well, because some people, that's where you got to start at, because they only will believe evolution, and you got to say, okay, look, all right, you see this stone here? You see that stone more? And then, but you're absolutely, that's a really good point.
Yeah. There's evidence all around the world.
Well, how did they do those large spheres? That one just blows my mind. I mean, and they're like in creeks, and how did they do those?
Oh, I know. I am so amazed at them, and they're found all over that place down there, and it's like, it's almost like somebody was playing marbles,
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, yes. Yeah, Costa Rica.
Central America. Central American jungles.
Yeah, they're found in creek beds, they're found in open fields, they're found, alongside the highways. I mean, they're everywhere, and it's just amazing.
Well, they're more and more, they're being found all over the world. They're different structures, though. They're built differently. They're not like the ones that are in Costa Rica and Central America. Those are solid
circle.
Look like granite.
Right.
I don't know. May not be, but it's definitely a hard stone. They're able to cut it into a perfect sphere. That is so hard to do. It's not even funny. Just to do that, it boggles the mind. When you sit down and you really, understand principles, working principles, and the dynamics behind building a perfect sphere. You can do a small one, it's fine. You can get pretty close. But on that type, that large of a scale, that much weight, with that much weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why aren't scientists trying to figure that out?
Because they're paid not.
Yeah, they're paid not to. That's the thing. Yeah.
Make a better world.
Exactly. Yep.
Why don't military soldiers make a better world? We're paid. Our jobs are based on our not understanding. As soon as you understand, you can go to any person's job and say, hey, wait a minute, we can do it a lot easier this way. And they're like, look, I just want to keep this job, just get in line.
Right.
And everybody, the way you keep that happening, you overflow colleges to where you have 100 people applying for that job, and 99 people will end up doing something else that they paid money for. I mean, college is a scam. And you look at that, and everybody in any position of authority is an immoral, bendable person. And that's what they want. You can't control moral people, but you can control immoral people.
Sure. The
moral people control themselves, because we know what's right. We're not going to listen to your authority. And so, wait a minute, that's not right. I'm not doing that. So somebody else will say, did you pay me? I'm going to get a check. All right, I'll do it. And they'll justify anything that job wants them to do. Murder, rape, pillage, steal. Look at mortgages. Mortgage, the word mortgage, it means death plus the French.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Wow.
Kind of like from mortician, meaning death, and then, the Latin, our language, I think we spoke on a previous show. It's so important to know what some of these English words mean. I'm going to make a video soon. I was going to make a
yeah, me too.
About the English language, because I think it's needed. The only one that's out there right now that's really good is, I think it's called Secret Spells of the English Language by Laurel Erica. I don't know if she's still on my Facebook friends list, but she's an older woman that is like, she just gives you that Dr. Seuss type of vibe, and she's amazing, you know, so I figure I haven't seen anything else that's as good as that. And, you know, I figure let me produce something within a week. And it will explain to everyone, don't ever say good morning. Don't ever reply morning, because it's like people in a ritual saying morning, 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 and it's like, we're all morning. No, it's a beautiful early day. You know, I had to think for months. I said, well, what would you say? You know, you want to say, oh, okay, I'm not mourning, I'm awake. No, but awake is where you mourn. So you don't want to say awake, mourning.
I can't say either.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what's so funny. And I thought for months about this. And I figured, I said, okay, you rise in the early. Because I know how to say good morning in less than over 20 languages. And in Czech Republic, they say dobre rano. And my friend, funny enough, his parents were Czech immigrants. And he said, he goes, you know, rano doesn't really mean day. He goes, it means early. So it's sort of like good early. And as I looked at it, I said, all other Slavic and cultures, they say good day or good early, you know, or good sun. Like in Chinese, I think they say Joseon, and in another one, I think it's Cantonese, it's Zhao Chen Hao. So it's nothing to do with a morning, and the only mornings you get are from English, Irish, German, Norwegian, Swedish, you know, good morning. I think Swedish is good morning, German is guten Morgen, but they also have guten Tag, or good day, and Dutch is goede morgen, which again is the morning. Irish is Ziggetamajin. So look at these cultures. It's really our duty to do this for future generations, to say, oh, you finally decided to be an adult. You know, I'm watching television and stuff like that. You know, and when you hear us speak in this manner, kids ain't stupid. They're going to be like, all right, I'll listen. You know, and we got to treat them like people.
Right.
I was never treated as a person as a kid. You know, and a lot of times as an adult as well. But it all comes to, you know, if you make yourself into what you want to be right now, people are going to treat you that. They have to, the respect. Somebody might not like me, but they can't say that I don't know about a certain subject.
Right.
And that's when I know I have skill. Where it's like, all right, yeah, you don't like me, right? But I can fix your car, right? Okay, so you can't deny that, no matter how much you hate me. And that's where it's at. Building solid foundations to where they will never be able to break the knowledge, which is power.
Right on. It seems today
That's cool.
like it's so impossible. Look at our election. I mean, it's like a huge ball rolling down a hill. There's no way to stop it, and people are, you know, just so. I'm not saying zombies, but.
Oh, you might as well say that, because that's about what it is. Yeah. You know, you're not given anything worth doing. I mean, you know, we have no choices. You know.
We're so used to corruption that we don't care anymore.
That's about right. Yeah, that's about right. We have to expect it now. You know, it's just totally ridiculous.
It's become acceptable.
Yeah, it's the norm. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah. Sad but true. Become the norm.
Just like we're expecting Hillary, just like we're expecting Trump, you know. We're just accepting it, you know.
Well, I'm not. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not going to accept it. You know.
I understand that, but I mean, that's the choice we have.
Right, right. Yeah, I understand it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's what most people. That's what they have as a choice.
Yeah.
It's becoming enlightened to the point to where you realize your choices. You know, one of the ones that we're being offered, our choices is something much more than that. You know.
Either option, and we're going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah. Wow. And this may be the beginning of the end, if you know what I'm saying. You know, you hear all these prophecies and you know you hear all these prophecies and the Antichrist and all this stuff, and this may be exactly what they're talking about. This may be our demise right here. I mean, this is the beginning of the end. Yeah, I honestly believe that.
Well, I was in a Facebook post. I was talking about the sixth extinction. You know, and we're the cause of it.
Oh, well, sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that many other extinctions along the, going back in time and past civilizations, you can't help but feel that there is some type of self-destruction going on there too.
Mm-hmm.
That the place in,
Well, you said it, Tim, we're very self-destructive. I mean, we just are, you know.
Yeah. Well, in the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro in Iran or Iraq. It might be Iraq. No, it's Iran. Mohenjo-Daro.
Mm-hmm.
The ruins there. There is evidence of melted stone or vitrification.
Right. Yeah.
Going on there, and the only way that you can attain the heat to create vitrification of these stones is at around about 4,500 to 5,000 degrees, which is pretty much the temperature of a nuclear blast.
Nuke or atomic.
So
Yeah.
There's indications and signatures all around a lot of these ancient ruins of radioactive. Things are radioactive.
The guy that made that helped make the atom bomb, Oppenheimer, when Einstein walked away.
Right.
Because he told people, look, if you fight the war with this, World War III with atoms, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Mm-hmm.
So Oppenheimer said, I'll do it. And they got those texts from India. He wrote on the text, on the bomb, I am the destroyer of worlds, like one of the Hindu gods.
Right.
And you look at that, and that's the whole thing. It brings that ET question back into the factor of, Mohenjo-Daro, that name itself, that means Mound of the Dead.
Mound of the Dead.
You look at that, and it's like, everything is this death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think about the destruction. I think it's more of a change, because nothing ever gets destroyed. So it's definitely changing.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we're like a herd. When you look at the human herd, just like you have a herd of livestock, sometimes they kill that entire herd.
Yeah.
Something is without a doubt hurting. If you look at the religious book, your God's shepherd, he's the shepherd, you're the sheep.
Well,
what's that make you then?
Well, we are the sheep. That's just it. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Now, some of us aren't those sheep. Some of us that can think or not. It's kind of like I'm producing something with full-blown alien about human mimicry. I gave a lecture on this in 2013 here in New York. I said, okay, if you look at the ant colony, they have mimics, which are spiders, that mimic ants. You would look at it and say, wow, it looks like an ant, but wait a minute. Oh, no, that's a spider.
Mm-hmm.
And it preys on the ants in the ant colony while it's right in the colony.
Wow.
You also have crickets. Crickets. I was shocked to find a cricket that mimics the same ant in the same colony. But that cricket, if we apply the ant colony to the human colony, which is extremely similar, there's workers, guards, all of that stuff, hierarchy, and you say, well, humans, there have to be other humans that might not be humans, they might be mimics. We might not even know what we are, because we can look at some people and go like, yes, this is a sheep, this is a human herd sheep, and that could be a relative, a blood relative.
Sure.
That is like built like a worker, or, type of thing. I don't know if it can break them out of it, but I do know one thing. Some of us have awakened and realized it's a herd. Now, herd animals will not realize that.
Right.
That brings the scientific hypothesis stronger to say that we are something different within it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good movie. It doesn't exactly talk about what I'm talking about, The Imposter, with Gary Sinise. But it gives you an idea of a guy that thinks he's who he is, but it's not him. He finds out later it isn't. We know that our existence itself right now is very weird. This is weird.
Yeah.
It's not talking to each other or over ear. This would be magic to somebody else. So if we
absolutely.
Can that, anything above us or more advanced, it's going to be technologically more magic, like science that looks like magic. We don't even know what we really are. And that's where scientists get very angry with me. The professor at community college here wouldn't really speak with me or walk with me.
Mm-hmm.
And as I try to explain explained to her, could I, talk to a few students? And then I knew that that's how to keep control. Because the kids, and they got to keep us stupid enough and make excuses to send our kids to school.
Yeah.
And
you got to keep the ball rolling.
It's tough. We don't want to learn from kids, so that makes us dumber as well. I mean, the kids have more to teach us than we really have to teach them. A child shows me to always fight for what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Always. They're always fighting for what they believe in.
Right.
They didn't need us to teach them to walk. Nobody needed us to teach us that. Nobody needed to teach us how to talk. But then they tell me that they taught me how to read. You didn't teach me how to read. I learned how to read. Just like every other child.
Right.
I learned how to walk. I have a superior genius ability that, like every other person on the planet.
Sure.
That I'm constantly being told isn't there. That, hey, let some other guy tell you that he can verify it. No, get away from me.
Right.
And that's disobedience has a spot like Thoreau wrote about civil disobedience. And King and all of these guys. It's our duty to disobey an unjust law. Not only just, it's our duty to disobey it. And that's where people are like, man, here in New York on TV, they choked the man to death.
Yeah.
And none of those cops went to jail. An unarmed man, on camera. And the only guy that went to jail was the guy that filmed it.
No.
And all of the sheep.
Yeah.
All of the sheep. I mean, that made a massive protest. That launched all these movements. I mean,
sure.
I looked at this. I lived in this. I mean, I told the guy, I said, I was going to go to the stores around midnight or something. I didn't want to go. And he's like, why? I said, because of the cops.
Yeah.
I said, you got to fucking worry about the cops, man.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not worried about criminals. Pardon me for cursing.
It happens.
That's tough when a guy who's a veteran, who went as a young kid, and I'm a citizen, I was born here, is afraid to go to a store late at night, not because of any criminals, because I know I can protect myself against that.
Right.
But I got to worry about, that, because they're, you look at these guys.
The harassment.
You can only watch so many cop beating videos before you numb yourself out or you accept the reality.
Right.
One of it. You numb yourself out or you accept that reality. And that's what we're living in, and they're testing us for that. Whatever it is.
It's just like this, in North Dakota. What I could not understand is they were arresting journalists.
Yes. Newspaper and TV.
How can they do that? They're covering.
People have.
Country, they're arresting journalists.
It's their Fifth Amendment.
They're taught to say, let me protest. That's why I never got into protesting. I understood it. I said, I'm a military kid, so I was like, wait a minute, just go there with a rifle, or you get whatever. You'll accomplish stuff. And that's why, somebody said, oh, the guns. I said, guns? What are you talking about? I said, if you bear guns, you should fear rope.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with you? So spoons, spoons, I can kill you with a spoon, or I can eat them.
Yeah.
Inanimate objects. We're blaming inanimate objects.
Yeah, it's not the gun, it's the person behind it.
And
Yeah.
they have to keep us in the state of child.
Yeah.
They have to. And I'm not saying I'm an NRA spokesman or anything, but I'm a man with sense that says, yeah, definitely. If you want to be unarmed, look at nature. A mouse gets eaten. A porcupine doesn't because he's armed.
Right. Right. That's good.
That's why I was like, we're not all human. I think there's two different categories of people, and some will always be part of that meat slaughter.
Absolutely.
And some
Yes.
are also like, holy smokes, how the hell did I get here?
Right.
How did I get out of this farmhouse?
Yes, absolutely.
And, well, I think a lot of it has to do with programming. I think
it does.
That people are programmed at an early age, and that creates that separation of people who are willing to understand things differently or see things differently. I don't know what it is that made me different from other people as far as wanting to go into places that are, for the most part, completely, you get scared to death going into some of the things that I've experienced, and some of the things I've opened up into.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always held some type of courage within inside me, and held strongly to believing in something more, something being more around us than what's there.
Well, we are, we are like in categories, like you said, you have your warriors, you have your people who are like scientists. They wanna learn how things work, and you have people that are nurturers. You have people, you know, we are different. That's,
Sure.
I mean, I'm not a warrior, you know, but I think I can nurture and take care of people, you know. We're different that way.
Right.
You know, the reason when you bring that up is beautiful because it makes a point of the warrior. I was always the scholar. I was the kid that always loved to learn. I loved science as a kid, but never, you know, was always abused. And then joining the military, I became more, wrote out what I already had. Now, I found some literature from ancient times that made a good sense. It says when you separate the warrior from the scholar, you get wars that are started by cowards and fought by fools. And all of these cowards that are so-called scholars that will start a war that never have to go out there like the guys that have the uniform on, the warriors, comes from the separation of warrior and scholar. And that's why I said I have to be the warrior scholar, because then you know from experience, no, don't send these men to war. We got to look for peace. We must look for peace. The weapons of the defense,
Right.
not for attack. You know, and the real military people know that. Like real samurai, the guy that killed the most people, forgot his name. But in the end, he goes, you know, the best thing I learned is that for nonviolence is not to fight. And you gotta know how to fight, not to do it, otherwise somebody's gonna come and beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
So if you know how to defend yourself, you keep him in check and you keep the world a good place, like Einstein said. It's not the bad people, it's the good people that don't do nothing that make the bad world. And he's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to the warriors like myself to be scholars and scientists to where if I didn't tell somebody I was a vet, they would never know. You know, and I'm not a very big muscular man, I'm a regular sized guy. So it's just, that's very important. The nurturer, that needs to combine, like how you're the nurturer, I need to become some more of the nurturer. I need to, you know, branch off and also show you the side of the warrior that is not just a warrior, but is also a scholar and a guy who's willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes us so much more powerful. This is what they're worried about.
Right. It looks like we have another caller with us here.
World War II recently, and there were amazing black and whites of World War II, you know. But I just thought keeps coming to my mind, you know, yes, and I think I said this the last show, but, you know, we're in this war with all these countries, and all these men and women, you know, that's all they thought about, worked for, was that war. And many died, you know, but, you know, now we're friends with these countries. I mean, anybody from Germany can come right into our country. Anybody from Japan can come right into our country.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, all these people that died, if they knew the outcome,
oh, absolutely.
would they have fought for that war?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, looks like we have, what's that? Yeah, we have another caller here with us. Yeah, looks like Sharon. I believe this is Sharon. Hello, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, just hook me in. Yeah, hook me in. I'm listening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Hi,
I love it. I got.
You know, what she just said really made sense because I thought about, look at Japan and Germany. They're like the best car producers on the planet. It's like, how does somebody who gets bombed and then somebody else, you know, they bombed at Dresden. Now the best car in the world is the Mercedes-Benz commercial car. You look at that, it's like anybody who drives would say, yeah, this car is not going to, you know, you're not going to have to take it to the shop.
Right.
And the technology from Japan, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you start to see that what David Icke said, not to say he's right because I don't totally agree, but something is running the entire planet. And if you look at a map, those lines, they say, remember, all those lines are in your mind. Look at a satellite map and then a regular map. Because the satellite map, you see the real. And that's what this thing, or these things do. You know, they're saying, hey,
the lines are ingrained to our mind.
Totally. I mean, I can see the states. I used to draw them as a kid, and you know, I'm like, man, I had to learn from studying and teaching geography that whenever you see a map that has a straight line, that represents two invaders that came to that country, destroyed the people that were there, and split the takings down the line. The biggest line is between, I think, Canada and the U.S., and then you see that straight line again, Alaska and Canada. All those people that really lived there were killed off, and these two invaders that will split it down the line. You see no straight lines in the entire Asian continent.
Yeah.
All the way from Western to Japan. You know, you look at it and say, wow, so that's weird. But you look at Africa and it looks like a butcher chart from like a cow beef.
Right.
Because it was all chopped up from the Berlin Conference in 1882 when the countries got together and said, all right, we're going to invade and take every single thing. And Africa is just straight lines and, you know, butcher chart.
Mm-hmm.
Australia is like that also. Like, you don't see the lines unless you look into a deeper map because it's all run by one criminal, which is England, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the crown over there. And,
Right.
it's crazy. You look at this is why studying geography is imperative to awaken your mind. To say, if I mention Algeria, you can picture North Africa right underneath Western Asia, you know, which is also mistakenly called Europe a lot, you know, because where's the line, you know? It really is Western, Eastern, and Middle, and then Northern and Southern, which is India and Russia. Just with America.
Right.
North America, South America, Central America. And now, learning is easy. There's 5 continents, all begin with A. America, Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. A kid can't get confused, but to confuse this kid and make him not want to learn, you say, well, you know, we got this in North America and South America and Central and this and, you know, and so, well, wait, that doesn't make sense. And Europe, what the hell is Europe? Don't you got to have like a water around something to be a continent? And you know, just listen to it. And that's the beginning of, I'll do what I say for my job.
Right.
Training you in school. School is obedience program. And I'm so glad I dropped out. It changed my mind. And I didn't drop out. An amazing, she's a genius. She does videos, Jane Elliott. She taught me from watching her stuff that no kid drops out of high school. You get forced out. I always thought I left. I never said, I'm like, what is drop? I'm leaving. I'm not going to this.
Right.
And then I went in the army, an idiot. But then I learned, like, I became a man real quick.
Right.
And that, you know, I was still in high school, actually. They accepted me as a high school student. My mother signed the paper. And I looked at it as, that's better than graduating. And when
Sure.
you think about that, anybody should look at that as a man that's older now and say, damn, how bad can high school be? Where this guy said, as a 17-year-old, no, so I'll sign the paper and I'll join the military. I don't want to stay here for another. They told me 2 more years because I never went to school. So my 4th year of high school, they were like, yeah, I was like, are you crazy? I want to get out of this place this year. And they're like, you're not graduating. You don't come to school.
Right.
But so many did that. I know people that did the same thing.
Yep. Me too.
It saved my mind. People that get forced out, they want you to think you're a dropout, so you self-punish yourself. I never did. I left. So
Right.
screw you, I left. Now I find out from Jane Elliott about, you know, because she's really good with like maps and stuff, shows how, you know, how they really manipulate your mind. And she goes, yeah, think about it. If you're told all of this crap every day to save your sanity, you'll be forced out. Like Frank McKenna said, alienation is the price you pay for your sanity in this society.
Right.
So these teachers are who I try to direct people to say, you know, we're all teachers, and the best thing we can do is tell people where to look, but never what to see.
Exactly. Exactly right. Looks like we have another caller with us too.
Today, though, it just makes me so upset because all it is testing. That gives no kid an incentive to want to learn. All they have to do is pass the test, and then they go on. You know, it just makes me upset.
Well, what gets me?
What makes me upset is when you see what these tests are that these kids are taking, and the excuse the part of the expression, the horse shit that they're being.
Right. Right.
It's totally. It is totally. It's mind-boggling how much control is going. It's
so much control, it's crazy. I mean, teachers get fired if the kids don't meet these tests.
Right.
Right.
They have to make a certain grade, or teachers get fired.
Right.
You know.
That's the destroying of the youth. I used to teach homeschooling from videos, and I used to tell people, school teaches you to learn and think backwards, so you're confused. In life, you get tested right away, and then you learn from that test. In schools, they make you backwards. They make you learn, and then they test you.
Right.
Which makes no sense, because in life, you get tested, and then you learn.
Then you learn, yeah.
And if you didn't learn, sometimes you'll die for that lesson second time.
You know, I've watched...
And school says, no. We'll soften you up. I tell people, if you got to study for a test, that's really ridiculous. Because if you know you can be tested just like life. Test at any time, you know what to do. Just like, and you have to study for a test that shows that it's a false sense of knowing. Because if I told you, okay, I want to give you a test right now on addition, you don't need to study that because you know it.
Right.
So if I said, I'm going to give you a test on multiplication, there's no studying. So that's how teaching should be done. I used to express that to a lot of mothers that, knew something was wrong. Because I said, as a kid in second grade, I said, they were telling us about Columbus.
Right.
What do I need to know about Columbus for? And they said, what? The separators.
Right.
And that's what it was, teaching us separation. Now we got to see that. And that's what it is. We don't see it sometimes, and I say, holy smokes, it has a lot to do with psychology, it has a lot to do with myself. And that journey is great. That's what makes waking up really great, because we can do it. I mean, you're right. School, you guys see that, and it's so clear. Just remember, let people know. You get taught backwards. Life tests you, then you learn. School says, no, we're gonna do this backwards. We're gonna put it on paper. No kids can name a leaf, but they can name a symbol of a company. That's the problem,
Sure.
Japan has our school system.
Yeah.
And us and Prussia. Prussia was the foreign state over in Europe. Our school system is based on that. And Japan's school system is based on that. And when you look at the two countries, Japan people are very obedient. And America, they're very obedient, but they're very extremely unknowing.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, looks like our dashboard here is lighting up like no tomorrow. I got 2 more callers here. I'm going to put them both on. I think I know who. Lee, I think your brother is here with us. Let me boot him up real quick. Is this Mike?
Yeah, it is.
Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. Can you hang on just a second here? I want to get this other caller in. And I believe this is Linnea. Is that Linnea? Hello. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'm getting some feedback from somebody. I don't know if you're watching the YouTube or something. You need to turn the volume down on that.
When you're talking about history, as they wanted to teach it, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
I was listening to you and how upset you were about what they're trying to teach the children. And my question is to ask any of you, can you go back 1,000 years, proof positive, and say what was going on?
Wow.
Positive.
1,000 years.
Positive.
It's the bones that were found, the artists were found,
Right.
because they found that Anunnaki had been for 12,000 years, is what they're saying.
The reason I'm asking that, and the reason I said that, is because Columbus really doesn't really mean that much to some. And the schools will grab onto what they know, and that was years and years and years ago that they claimed that Columbus found it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was the people in that small area that made that history. And that history was passed on and on and on and on. So how much of our history is a lie?
Well,
how much can we prove?
as far as
and really, truly, how much would I rather look forward than behind?
Yeah. Well,
I myself would like to know what's going on now and what's going to be going on later,
right.
than to try and muddle through the stuff that, that's going on. You can go over it in your mind 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
You can protest it. You can try and teach people other things, but people will believe what they want to believe.
Sure.
People will learn what they want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people who just want to go through life and don't want to pick up their head and notice there's a sky and there's a ground and there's trees.
True.
So
yeah.
To actually get our children on the right track, how would you propose to do so?
Good
do you have
question.
any ideas?
Good question.
Build a school.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you teach them? What would you teach them?
The first thing, like in certain places, the kid does not take a written test until they're 10 years old. Everything from when they're 2, 3 is learning how to deal with soil and plants and the mother. The mother teaches the child about the inner world, the love, the feelings. The father teaches the child about the outer world. So when we respect that and we stop trying to make a woman do everything a man can do and a man can do everything a woman can do, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
A woman was created to do everything a man cannot do. And a man was created to do the things a woman cannot do. And we complement each other together. We're not the opposite sex. We're the complementary sex. So teaching children.
No, what I'm saying is you said build a school.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would like to know is what kind of information would you put in your school? Your school.
Agriculture and things that matter.
And what would you do?
Yeah.
Because we need food and know how to take care of yourself. So a kid that knows how to take care of basic cold and broken bones and stuff and feed themselves and keep the cycle going, that's what they know to survive. Now everything else
that's the parents' responsibility to teach them that stuff.
Yeah, but look at the parents.
But what I'm wondering is how do you open up these children's minds to where affinity is beyond anything imaginable, that you're going to hear these different things and get rid of the history books because they're not truthful.
No.
History books are not truthful.
Well,
what would you replace them with?
Our own books.
That's beautiful that you have the history.
If you were a teacher in a school.
Okay, now look at it like this. We don't want history at all. You have history, which is a story by him, his story. And if we replace that with our story, it's still a history. We replace it with scientific accounts of the past.
Right.
But we say, hey, there's blocks that are 2,000 and 3,000 tons in North Africa and Asia. Now that's a scientific fact, and we're replacing that. We're not saying that this guy put it here or they made it with slaves. That's That's his story. So,
and then you get them excited to try and find out why. Right?
How was it made?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let them be inquisitive.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because if we're not inquisitive, us here as adults are inquisitive. We want to know more.
Oh yeah.
We just don't want to stop at this box because I don't even know what a box is. But you don't.
Yeah.
Over in the corner, right?
Yeah, that's it. I climbed out of it a long time ago. Yeah.
If you make anybody inquisitive, anybody just a question, wow, that maybe and get them going on a way to using their own mind.
Sure.
Not having something forced in it, but allowing them to use their own mind and their own judgment.
And somehow get away from this, the way we teach our kids or we on TV or movies or whatever, that money is the ultimate.
Yeah.
It's not the ultimate.
No.
That's everything kids see, that their mind is like towards money, you know,
Mhm.
that needs to change.
Yeah, it does. It does.
The cost of a college tuition needs to change
Thank
too.
God.
It needs to be free. We shouldn't even have a
I know
tuition
it's
fee.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they shouldn't even have a
Do you
tuition.
think that there would be teachers who would volunteer to teach in a class where they could actually open up
Mm-hmm.
and ask and teach at free will?
If we bought the center, I was thinking, I drew the plans out and I said, okay, it has to have, like how you go to a hotel and you see those single rooms, so the rooms are livable. And
Right.
you say, look, I know you're not making a lot of money because I know teachers that are making $15 an hour and stuff. And I'll say, okay, you come here, we already paid for it because I make the money through video production and other
Right.
people that would donate, hopefully.
Right.
And then we all know people, so we might know somebody with land and places that we could renovate, even, cheaper.
Sure.
The teacher will come there, your rent is paid, so you don't have to pay rent. We will provide food because I wanted to get a non-profit supermarket. That's a really good idea that a lot of people haven't heard about.
Right.
Yeah.
If we get a non-profit supermarket, and we also work with these farmers. So now food and rent, because rent is the main thing that counts for, because you can actually work and have enough to buy food.
Right.
The rent is real extortion. So we pay the extortion and protect these teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And they will come, and now we're not stressing them the way they say, oh, man, I got to go back to my family. Say, no, we'll provide everything.
Yeah.
You continue teaching these curriculums, and then the other children have to be there.
Yeah.
Construction of that facility has to be agriculture and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it down where it was like free food, shelter, teaching agriculture, medicine, and textiles and clothing. Kids love to do stuff like that, making clothing, and you see the
Or
progress.
have a community that is, I was just seeing it on Facebook, a community where it's, how would I say, it's based on that, and it tries to make.
So that would be, what kind of, from first grade to third grade or first grade to fifth grade? When do you stop teaching them medicine and agriculture and go on to the more larger things, like opening up their mind? How do you think that this,
After 12 years old. After 12 years old.
There's no grading system because right now.
No, I never said there's a grading system. I said what grade? There's like you got first, 1 to 12.
Maybe you do away with grades.
Yeah, you have to go by age, I would think. Maturity.
Like at 12 years old, the mind is open enough to start finding what they want to study,
You're right. I had to write this down to be clear because each person learns at a different rate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great book to buy called The Teenage Liberation Handbook, How to Quit School and Get a Real Life in Education, written by Grace Llewellyn. Now, she made a good point with saying that when you put kids in grades, it grades them like products, like these are grades, grade A for grade B. It also kills off a lot of that enthusiasm and inquisitiveness that we spoke about, that you're right, needs to be cultivated to get them to want to learn. Now, we have to make sure that these grades are abolished. There is no grading. Johnny is going to be a medical doctor starting learning anatomy at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Susan starts 3.
Mm-hmm.
We are slowly advance quicker.
Well, you have genius kids today that are like really.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I don't know where he's from. I think he's from America. He just discovered a pyramid using mathematics and stars. The pyramid that he has next door. Wow.
Yep.
These kids are geniuses. This kid that's 12 that rearranged solar panels in the format of leaves, and it's holding a little more power. And these are kids that have parents that actually
There was a kid that designed free energy. He took Tesla, what Tesla was doing, and he was like just a kid, and he did this,
Mm-hmm. Well, our mind is a wonderful thing, but it, back when I was a kid, the school cut off your mind piece by piece, but by putting in, this is the way it is. You will answer this. I refuse to do history maps. I had a history teacher that was so frustrated with me, but I refused. I said, I just don't believe I need this kind of history.
Yeah.
So she'd say, well, she did my maps for me. She just passed me because she couldn't stand looking at me no more or whatever. I don't know. But I refused because I did not believe in that history.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not going to write down something I don't believe in.
Right.
Now, and you're right about the grades, but what I use that as an example as to what age do you start, showing them, okay, well, these different stars up here are named this, and, the galaxies, and the stones, and the pyramids, and all that other stuff. When do you open up mind that this world is just not where it is? It's everywhere.
Well, you
I can tell you personally that my dad taught me astral navigation, celestial navigation. When I was 7 years old, I started learning it. So at that point,
well, and you have kids that have no interest, so you let a kid pick their interest, and you let them choose at their whatever age they want.
At whatever age they get to the point where they become interesting to them. To me, my age is my point of interest. My age, I'm as inquisitive and as open to learning today as I was when I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be 58 in December. So I'm open. I'm
just
open
as
to all this.
inquisitive as you were 7, right?
And I am. I get excited about learning. That's what gets my juices flowing. When I start learning about things. Right now I'm deep in lectures and seminars of people talking about like the wealth of Richard C. Hoagland. I've watched a lot of his stuff, on the moon and Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not taking what he says to be factual, but it's opening up my mind to where I'm able to make my own theories and my own hypothesis of what may happen, and how I see our place in our solar system and in the universe, particularly. That there's so much that we don't know, that the area for learning is ginormous. That's what I
You can't do it all in a lifetime. There's no way you can learn as much as, in a lifetime.
But if I learn things that excite me, if I learn things that excite me, and that's just it. I have people tell me all the time that they think that I'm 38, not 58. I don't look or act 58. I don't look or act like a normal 58-year-old. No. I have almost all my hair. I don't have hardly any gray at all except for my beard.
And this country ages us, because I think there's so many people like you, Tim, that are in their 50s, but really they could actually, with their minds and taking care of themselves, they could be like they're 30 again.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Now I do have I have a hip that's broken down, and I gotta go get a hip replacement done. But I don't see that as tying me down.
Right.
I don't see, that's going to give me my ability to continue on, or maybe open up volume 2 or chapter, the next chapter in my life, and I go on from there. But it's all about finding things that excite you and that give you something to go on. There's so many times that our society, we have social boundaries and social barriers that keep people dogfied or dominified or dumbified.
Right.
Dumbified. I mean, that's like an epidemic.
Our society keeps people poor. They keep poor people poor so that they
don't care about the stars they're poor.
cars or anything. They want to know where they're going to get their next buck at, or how they're going to be able to get enough money to buy the next new car,
Yeah.
or how they're going to be able to buy, you know, the next new fashion, or the next new phone, or something, you know. That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about
football.
and that's
Social media, yeah.
That's what powers that be have created. They've created this stigma of how people
I got a question for you. Many years ago, all right, supposedly there was only just a small part of the world, and that's all those people knew, was just that.
Oh, Europe.
They didn't know anything about America. They didn't know anything about anything maybe outside of this small area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, someone had to venture out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone had to bring their culture with them, right?
Well, sure.
So when they found out that there was other humans in faraway places, they just couldn't believe it, as they dared to go on and venture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we stop and don't dare go beyond a boundary because we are afraid, or because we're just going to take and believe what's going on, will we never find out what's beyond?
Well, that's what we're doing now. I mean, that's, you know.
What's beyond? Because you know that this isn't just the only universe, don't you?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You know that, right?
But see, you have to.
You know that this is just not the only planet.
The machine detective there.
Yeah. You have to kind of look at it.
Will show you that physical reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic mushroom, LSD. When you look at all of the guys on, you know, like Albert Hoffman and all these guys that did experiments, I took that when I was in the Army, when I was a teenager. All those trips I never knew. I thought I was just a kid getting high.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I made sure that I stayed away from hard drugs.
Right.
You know, basically cocaine, heroin, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also smoked tons of marijuana, drank, LSD we took many times, and it did open my mind. I mean, I bridged the gap of reality. I felt the floor at the level of my feet and could put my hand through all the Alice in Wonderland. Mushrooms are even more forgiving and satisfying and colorful. And when I went to Amsterdam and Holland, they had legal stores that sold mushrooms. And when you look at society like that, you say, wow, you just get a little bit more of a breath of civilization.
Right.
Even though, you know, there's still stuff that might not be great, but at least you can go sit in a coffee shop and smoke a joint and eat a mushroom without somebody, you know, bothering you. And you're experiencing this in your own mind. And that allows...
So what you're saying is that in the ancient times they were chowing on mushrooms and smoking pot?
Well, of course they did. Yeah. Absolutely. The Indians.
Definitely the shaman.
Yeah.
The shaman were definitely makers and users of
opiate.
Yeah. They were the spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
The physical universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
The physical universe, when we're sober, is a reality.
Right.
So when we take these other things, it shows us that there is an extension of reality that does not deal with this physical universe. And that's what these mushrooms, these ayahuasca vines, these peyote cactuses, these LSDs. I would try peyote. I just haven't found anybody with it. I would.
I know where you're at, but I don't.
Let me forewarn you on peyote that when you ingest peyote, it will stay in your system just long enough to stop being absorbed, and then you will regurgitate fiercely and get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it will leave you behind. It will leave you with an eye-opening experience, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I had an eye-opening experience without peyotes, without mushrooms, without LSD. I was in my living room, right? I'm standing in my living room as a first responder firefighter, And my radio went off. My had just left. And they said there's a one-car rollover, and it was in the direction that my daughter was going. And I said, oh, dear God, don't let that be my daughter. And the second I said that, I was not in the living room anymore. I was above the earth, looking down. And as I was looking down, people were going about doing everything, crimes, going rushing back and forth to work, and whatever they were doing. But I had no ill will towards them. In fact, I had no feeling towards them, whatever. It was like an ant farm. And where I was, I could feel entities, but it was just so vast. But I was looking over the world. Looking over the world and stuff. And as I'm going, this is just something else. And it was so peaceful. It was so enlightening. It was just awesome. Just awesome. Cool. I didn't want to come back. And then my little daughter and husband come walk into the door and wreck that. I'm back in the living room again.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, what just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened? Now, I know my physical body had to have been stayed in the living room.
Right.
Because I didn't have it up there. There was no physical bodies up there.
Right.
There was on Earth, but there wasn't up there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I can't explain entities or whatever, but that was without any drugs. That was in the middle of the day.
How do you happen?
You don't have to have drugs.
No. Meditation. Meditation alone will do that.
It was like a flashlight.
Your body has drugs. Your body produces
endorphins.
DMT. When
Yeah.
you're in the womb, it's a fact. The body starts producing dimethyltryptamine, which is the tripping drug. And when the kid, Rick Strassman, Dr. Rick Strassman, he's an MD, he wrote a book, this DMT, the spirit molecule. And this was so amazing when I looked at it. If you look at children, and I know this from tripping, on LSD and mushrooms, and when you look at children, you come into this world tripping like you're on a hallucinogen, and it wears off. From my house, over by the time you're 7 or 10. Look at a child's activity. It's like if they were drunk at a party, and then they passed out. And then they wake up and they're tripping again. And the only thing that can hurt that is adults that yell at them. We have to let them have that trip until they're 10. And it's triggering. So you probably, and this is a fact, you probably triggered the release of the traveling drug, like that movie Doom, the spiders. It's definitely, you can travel without moving. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I know.
My favorite movie.
Yeah, Mushrooms, it was a great movie. So Mushrooms, when I was in the room and it looked extended and the table was long, just like Alice in Wonderland, me and my friend were laughing. And then I said, man, did the lights look brighter? He goes, yeah, man, it got a lot brighter. And then it came back to normal light. It showed me, because we talked scientific about it, so we didn't just trip getting high on mushrooms. We tripped scientifically with a tape recorder on, with pen and pad, with fruit, with, stuff to comfort us and learn from the trip. And I said, I think our minds have the ability to make the light that's in the room get brighter by adjusting something in our mind. In theory, would let a person walk outside at nighttime and make it look like daytime.
Have you ever done meditation?
Yeah, we're amazing beings. We're definitely. We are. Have you ever tried meditation? Yeah.
Yep, many times.
Cool, but joints and mushrooms are better.
Now, I just want to say that the show isn't promoting drug use, okay?
No, not that. But I'm just saying, have you ever meditated so much that, you were so far out of your body, and you could hear clearly what was going on, what you were, you were going through certain stages and certain whatever, and you reached this place, and it's mind-boggling. I want to say, not even a learning experience. I guess the only thing I can put into words, but if you truly meditate, I mean, it takes you to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's not a learning experience. It's just an experience. It's like, man, I had an experience. And, or Jimi Hendrix, you know, Jimi Hendrix experience. You know, these guys, the Doors, their name was the Doors of Perception because of LSD. That's why they named their band the Doors.
Right.
So, Jimi Hendrix, Morrison.
But look where they're all at, though. You know?
Possession. So we look at these geniuses. Musicians are geniuses. Comedians are geniuses.
But they all died young.
Well, let's admit one fact, that people are born with certain talents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right? Some, you know, like you're saying, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, nobody plays the guitar like Jimi Hendrix. No one. But he had that instilled in him. It wasn't something he learned off of a drug. He could play that damn guitar.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't even read music. And guitar,
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. Sure. We can definitely say that he was gifted with that because he couldn't read music. But we can't say, like, we can't go too far. The rest would be speculation. He had to go to England because they didn't like him in America.
Right.
And when he went to England, he was like, holy smoke, he blew, got big, and he came back here as a star.
Mm-hmm.
You look at, you know, his struggle, and he has an amazing, he's an amazing dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the minds that are even though it's the telephone, the TV, the computers, the whatever, it has to, you're just not, I don't know, you cannot, I don't know, you cannot learn a gift. I guess what I'm saying, you have to have the gift.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's...
You have that, you have that talent.
Right.
Jimi Hendrix, because I'm a musician. I come from a musical family. I played guitar since I was able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture of me when I was 3 years old holding my uncle's 1953 Gibson Birdwind, which is, that guitar days was like $10,000.
Yeah.
But I've been playing guitar and singing most of my life, and I'll tell you, Jimi Hendrix, he changed the way music was played. It's not much that nobody else is better than him or anything, but up until him, music was set, and they had certain parameters that they formed around making music, and that was it. And Hendrix blew the walls down. He blew the door open.
Oh, Hendrix was the best.
No, there was many of them, though.
Hendrix changed things more. He did more to change music than any other single person or entity in the history of mankind. That's how much he was. Now, there's people today that can play just as good as Hendrix, but as far as changing game changers, I don't think we'll ever see another game changer like Hendrix, because he opened it up to make music different in so many different aspects and parameters.
I think
because of his gift.
Because of his gift.
His gift plus, his gift allowed him not to go within the normal constraints, so we got something new.
Right.
And then multiply that. He multiplied that effect with growth.
Right.
Because he was asked, hey man, about a concert, and he's on tape saying, what concert? He told us he forgot concerts he gave because he was so, he did the headbands in LSD and then get on the stage and play. His mind, it allowed it. It was like, you have a gift, so you're going to go beyond normal parameters and give us new stuff. And then also, we're going to put jet fuel on that with some LSD.
Do you believe that everyone has a gift?
Yes.
No.
And more than one.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I think that I believe that they do. They have the ability to. It's just whether or not they're able to access that. Now that's the deal there, because a lot of people are caught up, like I was getting to before, our social structure. We keep poor people poor. We keep certain people are kept in in the drudgery. They're not allowed.
There's two ways.
Well, I don't know, because
we're controlled.
the only reason, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And like you said, being broke.
Hmm.
Fear and no money is a way to control a whole whack of people.
Yeah. The thing is,
You know, and now, here's my question. The question of the day is who's going to have that gift to start that school?
well,
It's going to be all of us.
yeah, it's going to be a group effort.
This group, and all the other ones that are just like us.
Hmm.
We're going to be the ones to do this.
Yeah.
And how are we going to do this?
Well, I don't want to
Whatever means it.
for donations, and that's why I'm building the empire with the video production and the pages and the media people, to where once I start earning that budget money from network companies, that money will go into that. And you can only teach people by leading by example. So
Right.
look, man, I really don't have time to talk to you because I'm only affiliating with people that want to build this knowledge center. And 10 years ago, I had friends that we're still cool, but we don't talk. Because I tell them, look, watch the video. Let me know what you think. And when they call me back and they say they didn't watch it, I say, hey, did you watch the video? No, but I wanted to ask you. Don't ask me anything. Because that's the biggest thing. We got to know that there's people around us, and they don't know that they're crabs in the bucket. A crab will try to get out the bucket, and the other crab will latch on and pull it back in.
Right.
And that's what people do. So we must, it's very, and look at anybody that tries to rise, the descendants of Atlantis Life Page. People were hating on it. I said, how can you hate on something like that? And then I realized, oh no, that's something in their life that's missing.
Right. Right.
So when the knowledge center is built, we can put them in the psych ward until they heal, then they can
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that, to have this wonderful idea and to have, people wonderful who are allowing children to explore any question that they have in their mind, you know what I'm saying? And to have the safety net of knowing anything they say is not dumb. There is not a question in this world that is stupid, because if you don't ask the question, you'll never know what it is. And if somebody answers it, obviously they asked it. So I'm asking, how you got great things going on there, but where would you localize the school? What would you name the school? And how would you get parents to let them go to your school?
Look, it's called the Knowledge Center. And we will expand that to the Learning Center. And I was going to start it in the Dominican Republic, only for the purpose that when you buy the land and house, you do not have to pay taxes in that country. There's a lot of stars and people that afford real estate there, because it's not like other countries where you always have to pay the government once you buy your house. So that would be the base. And from there, again, leading by example, people will say, holy smokes, you went to a third world country, and people are flying from America, the Netherlands, from China, and other places to go to this country, because we built it and they will come. Now, the people that go to this school, it has to go through a system of, you have to probably be chosen, because to be realistic, not everybody's going to make it. To say that we're going to teach the world is not being realistic. You have to have opposites. Some people, like I said, want to be the sheep. They want, and that's okay. The other people, like rich people, that's where we'll get the funding. When they say, look, please, I don't want my kid to be an idiot. You got to make some people very smart. All right, and then we take that guy and we juice extract them for millions of dollars, and we build more places throughout the country. But the places throughout the country, we have to basically own those towns. So
and how would you protect that from people that want to take it, from governments that want to take it away from you? How would you protect that?
You have to build a court, a town, a police, and you get on the map. You see, when whatever it is that's controlling a seed that we're ready to produce, nothing can stop that. So now that we have a town and we are actually standing up for ourselves, that's when it happens. And they say, well, why do you go to the Dominican Republic? Because I can build a fortress there on a mountain with howitzer tanks to keep you off my back.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we build anywhere, it's not that you have to have an army, but you have to have access to an army to protect you. Just the way these criminals over here have access to the army to crush other people.
Right.
And when I looked at that from being a soldier, I said, yes, it is necessary. You have to, but the only thing that can stop a good idea is sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
And we must protect against sabotage. We're strong enough to protect our younger children against bullying. Now, we have to be strong enough to protect them against mental bullying, because we can protect them against physical bullying. So it's the same thing. It's like, hey, stop trying to protect my kid's mind. Get away from me. But we have to build much more smarter parameters to where the person gets tangled in like a type of wire before they even get to us. Like, you build it in a way like ancient Indiana Jones craft. It's like if he walks through here and he's not worthy, he's never going to get here. And that's the way it really has to be. Like a martial arts school. You walk in there for a year.
Okay, here, I've got a question. It may sound silly, it may sound stupid, but I'm gonna say I have to know. All right, we got radiation that's pouring in our oceans right now. It's not going to stop because of that nuke plant that exploded, right?
Right.
There's going to, I believe, new strange species created from that.
Oh, most likely. Yeah.
Godzilla.
Mutation.
Because the reason I say this is that they have some dinosaurs that have radiation on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was
That have radiation on them.
only.
It's not very rich.
Yeah.
If you kill the dinosaurs with a comet, like when a comet strikes the Earth, that'll give the signature of nuclear eviscerated glass. It'll give the signature of something that we don't know. I know.
Right.
It was a meteor that did this.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Plants that still pouring the radiation. They can't stop it.
Right.
What's going to happen, do you think?
Well, here's the thing.
You see, what we're told is it's not going to stop. Look, earlier one of the guests talked about Mojave, which is showing signs of ancient nuclear radiation.
Right. Yeah.
We're living with communities of thousands, tens of thousands of years grew on top of that nuclear radiation.
Right.
Indians, and you look at that. That's also in Africa. King Tut had a eviscerated glass jewel,
Mm-hmm.
which only comes from evisceration of the glass from that nuclear blast. So
Right.
it can be comet, it can be a nuclear bomb, a bomb. But this is where the science comes in. We've got to really learn to say, okay, let's see, if it was dinosaurs, and we know that there's stuff where dinosaurs were living with man.
Right.
So we have that too. Either the date for dinosaurs has to be more recent, or the date for man has to be much older, which makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted a lot of that stuff on the page. People can't deny that science. When you find a picture of a Stegosaurus carved into a temple in Cambodia,
Right.
in stone,
Right.
from over 1,000 years ago.
Right.
So I'm sure I put the science out there to say, hey, look at this. Now I got to watch to see if this person is,
90.
like I said, not everybody's going to be able to be reached. If they're too far gone, like in the movie The Matrix, you got to leave them in the Matrix. You can only pull out people, because if you pull them up to that wall, and they'll rebel on you like the guy that took the ship over.
Yeah.
And try to get back into the Matrix, which is going to kill them anyway.
Yeah.
That's how lost people are.
Exactly. Well, I hate to say it, folks. We just got our 90-second warning.
Oh, man.
Yeah, time flies, huh?
I'm telling you, I said that you turn around, just as you get started, you turn around and boom, 2 hours ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be back here tomorrow
I
night.
really enjoyed talking to you guys. I really did.
Yeah.
And I like to hear more of you. And
Tomorrow night we're going to be here, 6 o'clock.
This is a great place to learn. Keep it up.
Thank you. Cool.
I
Yeah.
know I have my versions and my beliefs, but
You
you'll
had
hear
great questions.
those on the next show, I'll bet.
Cool.
You had great questions.
Yeah. Okay, I'm signing off. Have a good time.
No, thank you. Thank you for calling. Okay.
You're welcome. 10 seconds.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time, and I want to thank our callers for calling in tonight. It's another great show. First time live on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So I hope everybody can join us again. And
Fantastic.
I think it's going to really take off good. I really do. Something new, something different, and hopefully we can keep this thing rolling, right? Alrighty.
That's right, man. Thanks, and again, Clarence, thank you very much for starting this platform that we can come to and express all these ideas and these theories.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much, Clarence. It's a great platform. I mean, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you. Yes, absolutely. And hopefully we'll hear everybody back again.
Very nice meeting you, Sid, and I hope that we get to know we get to know better, and I just have a feeling that we will.
Thank you. I really do too. Yes, I had a feeling too, and it was great meeting you too. Beautiful conversation.
Cool.
Great, man. Thank you. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. And
all right, Lars. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
In the meantime, folks, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you all very much for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you for using Blog Talk